Hey guys, it's Mark KM6 and HH with a little video about whether it's worth it to get the Yaesu FT-65 over a new Chinese handheld like the Baofeng UV-5X3. Short answer, guys, yes. Next video. Totally. So people are being fooled, like really fooled. People who own Yaesus, people who are like ham radio snobs. I didn't just say that. Anyway, people are being fooled because they haven't tried the Yaesu FT-65 and they're reading about the external features of the radio and comparing them in their mind. They're making this crappy mental model where they're like, Yaesu FT-65 equals Baofeng. And it's so not true. Once you actually get to know the Yaesu FT-65, and by that I mean just hold it and turn it on, you will realize it is different, and man, it is a big improvement. I mean, for the 40 to 50 bucks difference currently at this time between these in terms of cost, this one, you know, in the $60 to $70 range usually. This one is going to be in the low hundreds. Wow, I wish I would have. I mean, if I could go back in time, my UV-82 was good enough. This is total junk. This is the this is a UV 8DR by Zastone, which is awful except on 440. And you can actually do alphanumeric entry here from the keypad and controls here. So you can actually do that. So it's even more like a Yaesu that it's trying to clone than some of these others are. Quansheng total. This radio is total junk. I mean, it works, but believe me, this is not good quality. This is personally one of my favorites. I love the color. This is the royal blue Qualette UV-5R Plus that was my very first ham radio transceiver. But anyway, it's not like it's not like the main Baofengs are like bad. Like this is a BTEC UV-5X3. It's a good radio for like just, hey, communicate, get out there, talk. I've got one of these. Another one of these Baofengs in the back of my car, you know, for emergency use. These are not like bad. So don't think that I'm dissing Baofengs. I think they're just fine in a lot of ways. However, you move to this Yaesu and you're going to realize that you just got a lot for your money compared to the cost of this guy. I mean, so here are the features that match up with the Baofeng. So for one, the antenna connector, it's the exact same. Okay, exact same antenna connector. So you can take your Baofeng antenna or the antennas, if you're like me, that you bought. Like I could take this antenna off here and just attach it right to the Yaesu. Well, that's a great sales point. I mean, that's really convenient. Flashlight. The flashlight on the Yaesu FT-65 is worse than the flashlight on the UV-5X3. I just used it last night to help my kid find Legos under his bed. It was awful. It's just so bad. I mean, it's like, check out my other video, my first video on the Yaesu FT-65, and I compare it to a Swiss Army knife flashlight on a little tiny Victorinox Classic, and it's worse. So, but it does have it, and it's got FM broadcast band listening. But the FM broadcast band listening on this thing is awesome because not only does it have, you know, VFO access to that, but you can save those channels to memory in like seconds. And then not only can you save those FM broadcast channels to memory, but you can also tag them alphanumerically right from the keyboard right there. So I put in my first FM broadcast station into memory and was done. I was like, oh, wow. And it sounds great. The audio quality is great. You can still stick your headphones into the side of this thing and listen to it, even without the official Yaesu accessories. So people complain about the accessory cost. You can do little things like that. So yeah, those are the external features that are fooling people into thinking that this is like a Baofeng, and they get all uppity about it and oh, it's not worth it, just get a Baofeng. No, believe me, it's worth it. You get in this radio, turn this thing on, and you start using the ARS feature for repeaters. I say use the feature. You don't even have to use it. It's already turned on. Once you type in a frequency for a repeater and then type in the CTCSS, that's it. There is no offset. There is no shift. You do not need to program those in. It will just intuitively put those in for you. So that's a huge time saver. Then on top of that, go to save a channel to memory. Save that repeater to memory. What do you have to do? Hold down that VM button and it will just immediately ask you to start typing in the name of the channel, like alphanumerically. So you can give it a name right there, hold down VM again, and you are done. Like, you just saved that channel to memory. Guys, that versus the Baofeng, you remember this process with the Baofeng? Right? Menu, and then if you're smart, you've memorized the menu numbers, like 13 for CTCSS and in the mid 20s for your shift and offset, right? So you're like menu 13, menu, on, and then like menu to save, and then exit. Okay, perfect. Now go back to menu again. So like you've got that whole, like, I could save a channel on a Baofeng in like less than a minute, right? But that was a lot of work. This thing, it's like this is like the Cadillac of that. Now, I do not think, I would be so surprised to find that the firmware would be anything close to what is on a Baofeng. I don't think these are necessarily even made in the same factory that people are claiming it is, or use like the firmware. No freaking way, man. This is the structure of this thing and the memory model, and it's all so different. I don't think that's going to be like, I don't think that's real. So this kind of weird intuitive connection people are making between these two, I think it's just surface level items. I think they're looking at the little externalities that Yaesu added for convenience and moving from Baofeng to a Yaesu. And I think they're making the assumption that that's echoed in the entire inside of the radio, and it's totally not at all. Other things like the internal menu system's way different. It's, like completely different menu items. You've got a pre-programmed weather bank, so when you're traveling, super easy to find new weather stations. Baofeng, you're just going to be typing in that frequency, right? You're going to have to Google it or look it up somewhere and type in that frequency. On this thing, you just hold down that one button right there, and it's going to pop you into its pre-programmed set of memory banks for weather channels. You hold down that up arrow, and it's going to scan through those and find the nearest weather station, and you're done. So, like, whoa, way different. You've got the programmable memory buttons right here. So you can set these. You could set one of these to your CTCSS. Make a repeater setting even that much easier, right? So these are a big deal. Like, those I would say are super un-Baofeng qualities of the Yaesu FT-65. So I just want to put that out there because I did a ton of research before I bought this thing. Like, should I buy something more expensive? Should I buy one of the FT-60? Should I buy the whatever? And I was finally, after everything I read, I was like, okay, in the aggregate, what I'm getting here from my information that I'm finding is that this one is the Yaesu model I'm going to purchase on my current budget, and then I'll save up for my HF rig or whatever after I purchase this, because I do want to do some SOTA activations. And I found from reading about people's SOTA activations that a guy took the Baofeng up to the top of a mountain, right, to activate that peak on 2 meters. And there was so much intermod distortion from the antennas up there that he couldn't use it. But the Yaesu did not have that problem. So I was like, okay, that's it. I mean, I've got to get one of these. Now, in the 99% case though, if you're on 2 meter repeaters, if you're on 440 even, or if you're a weirdo and you're on 220, I don't know anybody who is. Even around here, people talk about it like they love it, but nobody's on it. If you're one of those people like me, I mean, most of the time, these would be fine. Nothing wrong. These are great radios for the price. But don't deceive yourself that this is not worth the price upgrade, because I think it really is. And people who talk like it isn't, I think they're the people who have not actually tried it. So just my thoughts on using this guy. I made a bunch of tutorial videos on it. Really impressed so far. It's great. It's a nice upgrade if you've been using Baofengs. Watch my videos though, because it is different. You can't it doesn't have like the same scheme for use that the Baofeng does. So anyway, guys, I hope this has been helpful as you decide what you want to do, what you want to buy. I also recommend, if you're looking at DMR, like the cheap DMR radios, make sure that DMR is actually used in your area. I do not have a Chinese DMR right now because I found out that DMR is not actually used in my area. I mean, maybe on Simplex it is, but not on, like, we don't have DMR repeaters that are in use and that kind of thing. So what I decided was to put the Echolink app on my phone instead. So I signed up for Echolink, which, man, that's a legit sign up process. You have to prove that you are a ham radio operator. I got that Echolink on my phone. I favorited the Do-Drop-In net or Do-Drop-In conference server. Just so you know, Do-Drop-In and the Guild are two good ones. Add those to my phone. And I was talking to people, and I talked to a dude in Japan. That's over 5,000 miles away from here. I talked to a guy in Scotland, which is probably the same amount in the other direction. that was a lot of fun. It's not a radio, but you gotta evaluate the overall experience. Just like I'm saying here with the Yaesu, you have to actually try it before you diss it and see what it feels like, because I guarantee you it will feel different. Anyway, just those ideas and thoughts, guys. Hope you'll let me know what your thoughts are about your collection of Chinese handhelds and what those have been like for you, or your Yaesu, or whatever you think. Love to hear about it. All right, take care, guys. This is Mark KM6NHH out.